When I was 18, I dragged my suitcase through airport security, through floor-to-ceiling windows. Song Bonian glanced back at the departure level. He stood in the crowd. The sleeves of the black shirt were rolled up to the forearms. Her eyes were red and she was staring intently in my direction, until my view was blocked by the crowd, never to be seen again. I only found out later. He stood at the airport for a full 3 hours that day. I didn't turn away until my flight soared into the sky. Everyone in the circle knows. Bai Nian harbors a longing for a white moonlight that he can never have. It is known that he has had a fear of the dark since childhood. I can only sleep peacefully when I'm by my side. He was aloof and arrogant, decisive in the business world. He only obeys me in everything. He took the helm of a multi-billion-dollar family business at a young age. The women around me have never stopped. Yet he remained chaste for me for over a decade. Unfortunately, I am Zhou Ji. Even more unfortunately, the touching and heartfelt stories they told. Half of it is the filter of the circle. The other half is a secret that Song Bonian and I keep in mind. When Song Bonian was 8 years old, parents are getting a divorce. The noise was deafening. He was holding the scarf his mother had knitted. She hid in a corner of my underground parking garage and cried. I found him. The garage door was locked from the inside. I sat with him in the dark for 3 hours. I'm afraid his family might barge in and upset him further. I tied a slipknot on the doorknob with a jump rope. He could have easily pulled it open, but she sat obediently beside me. He stuffed the only strawberry candy in his pocket into my hand, whispering to Gigi, "Don't be afraid. I will protect you." He was originally afraid of the dark. My parents are away doing business most of the year. The huge villa contained only the nanny and him. Countless nights. He endured it all by clinging to my old toys. When I was 10 years old, a few bad boys in the compound got up in the middle of the night wearing white sheets. He cornered him in the alley. I climbed over the courtyard wall and jumped in, chased people away with a stick. For the next 2 weeks, I sneaked in at midnight. He lay down beside him, sleeping with him. I teased him by deliberately making ghostly noises after he turned off the lights. He knew perfectly well it was me, but she would still run into my arms, hug my waist, bury your face in the crook of my neck. The sound trembled and squeaked. I'm so scared. Don't go. From that time on, his fear of the dark became a weakness that only affected me. Only holding me. Only then can he sleep peacefully. People in the compound said, "Zhou Jibu Mao, Gong Bonian did not love." This is no joke. It's the tacit understanding between us that's etched into our bones. He willingly let me control him. I accepted all his favoritism without any qualms. I just know all too well. Love in wealthy circles is the cheapest. Only by standing shoulder to shoulder with him. Only then can I protect this relationship. So at the age of 18, I have an acceptance letter from a top international business school. He left the country without looking back. This departure lasted for 8 years. In 8 years, Song Bonian has transformed from a naive young man. He grew into a man who leads a business empire. But it remained unchanged. I fly across most of the world every winter and summer vacation. Appeared downstairs at my apartment building. He brought my favorite domestic snacks. With his newly acquired project proposal, bearing a belly full of grievances, she wanted to get a formal title from me. But they never pressured me. I secured 3 cross-border investment projects overseas, holding his own capital empire. No longer that, the little girl who could only hide behind Song Bonian. I originally planned to stay for another 2 years. I will return to China only after my new energy projects are fully implemented. But a phone call from Yang made me change my flight. I returned to China 3 months ahead of schedule. The call was from my best friend, Wang Wen. She cried with me for a whole hour. Explain. She broke up with her boyfriend of 7 years, Luli. Wang Wen and Luli, the golden couple in our circle. We've been together since high school, having survived a 4-year long-distance relationship. Wang Wen even did it for her. He turned down an offer from an overseas investment bank, returning to China to accompany him in starting his business. With the wedding date already set, how could they just break up like that? I patiently listened to him finish crying. I only found out then. The girl who broke them up was named Zhao Nannan. Luli met Zhao Nannan on the basketball court. One after another, he called Li Go, brotherly, calling each other affectionately. He turned around and told everyone. He and Luli were sworn brothers who would risk their lives for each other. But these 2 good brothers. I would go to see midnight romantic movies by myself. We'll stay overnight at the other party's house. Will they drink the same cup of milk tea using the same straw? During Wang Wen and Luli's date, one phone call after another came in. It's not that I was drunk and no one picked me up. The car broke down on the way. Luli has to go. Wang Wen has made trouble before, but every time, Luli looked impatient. Can you please stop being so petty? Nan Nan is my younger sister. That's my good brother. There's nothing between us. Why are you so suspicious all the time? Even more ridiculous is, Zhao Nannan also often said to Wang Wen in front of Luli, "Sister-in-law, don't overthink it. Lika and I are just buddies. I've never been able to get along with girls since I was little. I love playing with boys. Don't be like those petty girls, misunderstanding us." Wang Wen endured it for a whole year, until his birthday last week. Luli said she wanted to throw him a grand birthday party. It was only when we arrived at the destination that we discovered. Zhao Nannan wore the same haute couture gown as him, holding Luli's coat in his hand. Greet all the guests. She looks exactly like the lady of the house. Wang Wen broke up with him on the spot. Luli not only did not try to stop her, they still think Wang Wen is being unreasonable. He then took Zhao Nannan out for drinks. I posted a message on WeChat Moments. The caption reads, "My brother understands me best." My fingertips went cold from listening. The pen in my hand. A long ink mark was drawn on the document. I tapped the table to comfort Wang Wen, sending messages to my assistant in China. The message instructed him to immediately search for all of Nan's information, especially the solid evidence against him and Lu Li. Also, the cash flow of his and Lu Li's startup project. But what Wang Wen said next. That's the real reason I completely changed my flight ticket. He said it was this Zhao Nan. I've been in the circle lately, inquiring everywhere about Song Baiyan. He's been eyeing Song Baiyan for a long time. He also told people, Song Baiyan had childhood trauma. Only girls with his personality. Only then can you truly understand him and accompany him. Even more terrifying is, he through Lu Li. I came into contact with Song Baiyan, the company's core partner in new energy projects. They also secretly photocopied the project's confidential documents. Oh, interesting. I'd like to know, who's so blind? Not only did he steal my best friend's boyfriend, they even dare to target my people. It has affected the project that Song Baiyan and I jointly planned. Wang Wen told me, this Zhao Nan, relying on this good brother rhetoric. For couples have already been broken up. Every time, he uses the guise of brotherhood to interfere. Wait until they break up. He's pretending to be innocent. She turned around and had the boy under her thumb. Once you've squeezed out all the value, kick them away. Now he has finished dismantling Lu Li. They immediately set their sights on Song Baiyan. After all, Song Baiyan is the most outstanding person in the entire industry. The most exquisite gold and precious. As long as we can take him down, he can rise to the top in one step. From an ordinary family, a female college student, squeezing directly into high society circles. Hang up the phone. I made a second call to my assistant directly. Ask him to change his flight back to the next available flight. By the way, let's wrap up the work on my overseas new energy projects. Simultaneously transferred to domestic branch office for coordination. Just kidding, my white moonlight. It's completely black when you cut it open. On playing mind games. On strategy and how to win people's hearts. Zhao Nan played this trick on me. It's like showing off your skills before an expert. I sat in front of the floor-to-ceiling window of my apartment. A finger swipes across the phone screen to view a recent photo of Song Baiyan. He is wearing a black suit in the photo. Standing on the stage of the project launch. The eyebrows and eyes are more mature and strong than they were 8 years ago. But those eyes are still the same as when I was a child. Looking at the camera with a sense of detachment. As long as I'm in the camera, it's all about an undeniable tenderness. Song Baiyan and I grew up wearing the same pair of open-crotch pants. Childhood sweethearts. The two families are old friends. Living in the same military compound. From kindergarten to high school, we were classmates. He always sat next to me. He always carried my school bag for me. He always does my homework for me. He's always the one who takes the blame when I get into trouble. At the age of 15, a guy confessed his feelings to me and got rejected. They turned around and spread rumors about me at school. The words were as harsh as they could be. Song Baiyan found out. Without saying a word, they cornered the boy in the alley. He got a black eye and a swollen face. I almost got expelled from school. When he came back, his face was bruised. I applied the medicine to him. Ask him if he's stupid. He looked at me. Seriously, I'm not stupid. Who dares to say a bad word about you? I'll hit whoever. Before going abroad at the age of 18, he held my hand. With tears in her eyes, she said, Gigi, I'll wait for you to come back. Wherever you go, I'll go. I teased him back then. What if I don't come back? He said, then I'll move the company headquarters to your country. Wherever you are, that's where my home is. No sooner said than done. These 8 years, he has never missed a single one of my birthdays. Any festival. Even when I'm abroad, he would appear before me on time. Second year abroad, he stood outside my apartment building all night in the blizzard. Confess your love to me. I softened and agreed. Make an agreement with him. Before I return to China to start my own business, we will not disclose our relationship to the public. I don't want to be labeled the label of Song Baiyan's girlfriend. I want everyone to know. I am well aware that I am worthy of Song Baiyan, not a toast flower that depends on him. This cover-up lasted for 6 years. Song Baiyan agreed without complaint. Even his brothers thought he had been in a one-sided love for over a decade. Even though the women around me have never stopped, he never crossed the line in the slightest. After all, she's so beautiful, so obedient, and so rich. The man who only loves me. There is only one in the world. Of course I must hold on tight. We will never give anyone an opportunity to take advantage of us. Now there's a clueless guy. Cha wants to steal my boyfriend. Hurt my best friend. They still dare to touch my project with Song Baiyan. Then I'll naturally go back and have a proper talk with him. 12 hours later, plane landed. I stepped onto the homeland I had longed for, pushing the luggage cart out of customs. I spotted Song Baiyan in the crowd at a glance. He was wearing a simple white t-shirt and black pants. Tall and slender, standing in the crowd like a shining light, holding a bouquet of white roses. My favorite variety. His eyes were fixed on the exit. The moment you saw me, his eyes lit up instantly. It's like falling into a sky full of stars. I let go of the luggage cart. Laughing, he ran towards him. She crashed straight into his arms. The familiar scent of cedar wafts over. It's the scent of the perfume he's used for many years. It's also a taste etched into my bones. He caught me steadily. Her arms were tightly wrapped around my waist. I picked myself up and spun around in a circle, chin resting on the top of my head. His voice trembled slightly, almost imperceptibly. Gigi, you're finally back. I put my arms around his neck. I pinched his side without thinking. His clear cry of pain immediately reached my ears. Ouch, it hurts. I raised an eyebrow, jumped down from his arms, seeing him pitifully clutching his side, which had been pinched red, looking aggrieved. I couldn't help but laugh. Song Banyan has not seen it for several years. Why are you so weak? He reached out cautiously, hold my hand, slightly cool to the touch, but he held it very tightly, as if afraid I would disappear in the next second. It's not that you're weak, it's that you pinched too hard. I reached back and rubbed the spot where she had been pinched until it was red. I could clearly feel her body stiffen for a moment. The base of her ears turned red at a visible speed. Just like when I was a kid, I can't take a joke. I pulled her towards the parking lot. I asked casually, I heard you threw me a welcome back dinner. She nodded immediately. Then he quickly added that they were his friends. I heard you're coming back. Everyone's clamoring to see you. If you don't want to go, let's go home now. It's okay, if you don't go to see them. He kept glancing at my expression as he spoke. My finger gently scratched my palm, like a big dog trying to please its owner. I looked at him like this. I couldn't help but laugh. Why not go? I'd like to see. Among your friends, what kind of demons and monsters are they hiding? Bonian was stunned for a moment. A knowing smile flashed in his eyes. Nod obediently. Go if you want, but you should show your face. Let's go. No need to socialize with them. With me here. All your usual friends are going tonight. They should all go. We grew up together. Several partners in new energy projects. That would be great. The more people, the more lively it would be. Otherwise, who am I putting on this show for? Song Bonian held my hand. Walk all the way to the car. Help me put my luggage away. Open the passenger door. Wait until I'm seated. Only after walking around to the driver's seat, the car drove out of the airport, drive towards the city center. Song Bonian held my hand the whole time, refusing to let go, even driving. You also need to hold my hand. The other hand grips the steering wheel. I looked at his tense profile, unable to resist teasing Song Bonian. You're holding my hand like this, not afraid of being caught by traffic police. He turned and glanced at me, a serious look in the eyes. As long as I can hold your hand, I'm not afraid of anything. I clicked my tongue. Turn your head to look at the scenery outside the window, but the corners of my mouth couldn't help but turn up. The car was halfway there. Song Bonian suddenly spoke. The sound was soft, with a hint of probing. Squeak. Can we tell them about our relationship tonight? I turned to look at him. He raised an eyebrow. What relationship? His face turned red instantly. The hands gripping the steering wheel tightened. Tight is the relationship between us. I've confessed my feelings to you so many times. You agreed, but you never let me tell anyone. My brothers all thought I had a one-sided crush on him. I've been chasing you for over a decade and still haven't caught up. Looking at his pitiful expression, I almost burst out laughing. I smiled and patted the back of his hand. Let's see how you behave at the welcome dinner tonight. Good performance. I'll give you this title. Song Bonian's eyes lit up instantly. It was like turning on two lamps. Nod vigorously. I will definitely do my best. I'll listen to whatever you say. He probably doesn't know. This welcome banquet, it wasn't just the hellish situation I prepared for Zhao Nannan. It was also me who officially announced his relationship, which was 6 years late. Car. First, they drove up to a large Riverview apartment under my name, right in the city center. It's very close to Song Bonian's company. I bought it before I went abroad. A cleaning lady regularly cleans the house. Before returning to China, I've already had my assistant pick up Wang Wen. He just broke up. Living alone makes it easy to overthink. Song Bonian insisted on coming upstairs with me. They said they would help me pack my luggage. I saw his little scheme. It was obvious at a glance. Sure enough, as soon as I entered the door, he then saw Wang Wen sitting on the sofa. He paused for a moment, and I greeted them politely. Wang Wen saw me. Her eyes immediately turned red. He got up, rushed over, and hugged me. Squeaky, you're finally back. I patted his back. After comforting her for a while, only then did I pull him down to sit. Hand him the documents his assistant had just sent. Not only inside, there are intimate photos and chat logs between Zhao Nannan and Luli. Luli also secretly transferred their joint property. Misappropriation of startup project funds. Financial records of spending on luxury goods for Zhao Nannan. Even, Zhao Nannan also secretly photocopied confidential project documents. Evidence of an attempt to sell to a competitor. Wang Wen looked at these things. My hands are shaking, but the tears slowly stopped. 7 years of relationship. It's not something you can just let go of. But when all the unbearable and betrayal, everything is laid bare before our eyes, all that remained was nausea and utter sobriety. Thank you, Zizi. Wang Wen took a deep breath. His eyes became incredibly determined. I know what to do. Song Bonian spoke at the right time. I've already made arrangements for Wang Wen, our group's best listing lawyers. He will help you organize the complete set of litigation materials. Guarantee that Luli will transfer the assets. Spit out every single penny. In addition, I am the largest investor in Luli's startup project. I have notified the finance department. All project funds were frozen. Wang Wen was stunned for a moment. He then looked at us gratefully. I squeezed her hand to reassure her. I will not let any of those who bully you get away with it. Tonight's welcome dinner, Luli and Zhao Nannan will both go. I'll help you get the situation back. Wang Wen nodded vigorously. The light in his eyes finally returned little by little. Song Bonian spent the afternoon in the apartment, helped me pack my luggage and organize my clothes. While I was busy running around, I curled up on the sofa and scrolled through my phone, waiting for the assistant to finish the rest of Zhao Nannan's dirty laundry. He also sent over all the little tricks he did online. Not long after, My phone popped up a notification for a local community forum. It's one of the browsers I browse regularly. It's full of gossip from our circle. I clicked on it randomly. I saw a trending post that had just been published not long ago. The title is, "My best friend's white moonlight is returning to China today. Will he hate me?" My fingers paused for a moment. Clicked on the post. Iron Master is a new account. The profile picture is a male basketball star. The background image shows a group of boys with their arms around each other's shoulders, their backs to the camera. I recognized him at a glance. Standing at the very edge is Song Bonian. Without a doubt, this Iron Master is Zhao Nannan. I clicked in to see the content. I almost burst out laughing. He wrote in the post today, "My best friend's white moonlight is going back to China." I'm so panicked. I'm afraid he'll hate me. Someone asked me why. Because I'm a woman too. But please don't misunderstand. I'm usually very easygoing. He's just a buddy to guys. I'm just worried that my best friend's white moonlight, ideal love interest, might be petty. After all, aren't all women like that? Overthinking. Everyone looks like a rival in love. Someone commented below. When asked what his relationship was with his best friend, he immediately replied that they were true brothers who would risk their lives for each other. I've never been able to get along with girls since I was little. I didn't care about the cosmetics gossip they were talking about. I just like playing basketball, driving sports cars, and playing video games. Girls don't understand these things. I can't get along with them. It's still more comfortable being with my brothers. I'm starting to wonder if I was born the wrong gender. Otherwise, why do I only like spending time with my brothers? I was with them. I've never considered myself a woman. They don't treat me like a woman either. We are brothers. True love is more real than gold. Today, my best friend is going to throw a welcome back party for his white moonlight, a term used to describe someone who is unattained. I will go too. I've heard it before. His white moonlight, ideal love, had spent many years abroad. I heard he has a petty personality. Stingy. I definitely can't get along with him. I just hope this white moonlight won't cause any trouble tonight. Don't let me cause a conflict with my best friend. Don't let this affect the genuine bond between me and my brothers. To be honest, I really don't understand. Why are girls so jealous? It's just that I get along better with boys, right? How did she become a vixen? If I really want to have something happen with my best buddy, it happened a long time ago. What does his white moonlight have to do with this? Is there any need to guard against me here? I laughed so hard my stomach hurt when I saw these comments. Goodness, even through the phone screen, I can smell his. I'm with those delicate girls outside. A different kind of masculine tea flavor. First, establish a carefree attitude for yourself. A straightforward, tomboyish girl who only hangs out with guys. Then they belittle all girls as petty. A jealous and petty person. Finally, feign innocence. Portray yourself as someone who is ostracized by girls. The pitiful person targeted by the white moonlight. He's figured out this whole process. I casually commented below. As long as you have a clear conscience. Your brother's white moonlight. They probably won't mind your presence. I thought my comment would go unanswered. I didn't expect that less than a minute after it was sent out, I received a reply from the Iron owner. And it was a reply tinged with anger. Of course I have a clear conscience. We are all brothers. If I want something to happen between him, it has been around for a long time. What does his white moonlight have to do with this? I think you're that kind of person. Will take my boyfriend's phone. A girl who deletes all contact information for men of the opposite sex, right? Suspicious and paranoid all day long. I think it's just that you lack charm. Can't control my boyfriend. That's why everyone seems like a rival in love. No wonder others. I burst out laughing when I saw this reply. I only said one sentence. He bristled like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. That's incredibly weak mental fortitude. Even more ridiculous is his insane statement. Surprisingly, it even received a lot of approval. Especially some boys were frantically echoing it below. The original poster is right. That's how straightforward our brotherhood is. Not that many. Winding. Intrigue. Don't use your girly tricks. Petty mind. A gentleman's heart. My situation is exactly the same as the original posters. My brother and I have had a relationship for over 10 years. As a result, his girlfriend forced him to break off all contact with me. My brother got so angry that he kicked him. He doesn't even deserve to be compared to me. Why are girls these days so petty? What's wrong with a guy having a female brother? I didn't do anything outrageous. Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of this? Don't panic, OP. A person with a straight body has nothing to fear. If his white moonlight dares to cause you trouble, we brothers will back you up. My comments were also attacked by these people. A bunch of people came over and called me petty. They called me jealous. I was scolded for not being able to control my boyfriend. I find these comments laughable. A bunch of fools who were completely fooled by Hansi T. Do you really think they treat you like brothers? They're just using you as a stepping stone. Wait until a better target is found. I'll kick you out in the blink of an eye. Luli is the best example. It received support from the comments section. Zhao Nannan's confidence had clearly soared. Another update was posted in the thread. Brothers, wait. Tonight I'm going to the welcome banquet to see my white moonlight. I'd like to see what he can do to me. Seeing this sentence, I could no longer suppress the urge to laugh. He clutched his stomach and collapsed onto the sofa. I laughed until tears streamed down my face. Song Bonian heard laughter. He came out of the bedroom, squatted down beside me. He looked at me with a puzzled expression. What are you laughing at, Azizi? So happy. I handed him the phone. Let him see that post. After he finished reading, his face instantly darkened. His brows furrowed tightly. His eyes were full of hostility. Is this woman crazy? I only met him once at a project meeting for Fluent U. He didn't say more than 3 sentences the whole time. What nonsense is he spouting here? I smiled and patted him. Don't be angry with my face. They've already made their statement. Tonight I'm going to wave my white moonlight. I can't let him down. Right, squeak squeak. Ignore him. This kind of person just wants to ride the wave of popularity. Desperate for fame. Song Bonian said with a look of disgust. Tonight's welcome dinner. I told him directly not to come, so that he won't get in your way. No. I stopped him. He raised an eyebrow and said, if he wants to come, then let him come. I just happened to have prepared a big gift for him. Song Bonian looked at the calculation in my eyes. Not only did I not worry, instead, he laughed. He leaned in and kissed the corner of my mouth. I knew it. My squeaky is the best. Silence is the key to tonight's event. I've already spoken to him. I'll leave everything to you tonight. In addition, he secretly photocopied the project documents. I deliberately let Luli leak it to him. It's all fake. If he dares to sell it, this is just the right time to catch him in the act. I was stunned for a moment. He then laughed. I told him, how could that be? It really made a girl of unknown origin. Sneaked into the welcome banquet they were holding for me. It even affected the project. It turns out he had seen through Zhao Nanan's thoughts long ago. He was let in on purpose. It was so that I could solve this problem myself. It put my mind at ease. What an idiot. I've had you under my thumb for over a decade. They still enjoy it. I pushed his face. Go help me with the walk-in closet. Take out that white haute couture gown. Tonight I want to be a perfect white moonlight. Song Bonian obediently went to get the dress. I leaned back on the sofa. He sent a message to Chen Mo. We finalized the details of the game session that evening. He sent another message to his assistant. Make him reveal all of Zhao Nanan's dirty secrets. Scheduled for the climax of tonight's banquet. Released simultaneously across the entire network. Since Zhao Nanan wants to play, then I'll play along with her to the very end. Play him until he is ruined and disgraced. Play until he never dares to show his face in front of me again. 7 p.m. Song Bonian drove the car. With me and Wang Wen rushed to the location of the welcome banquet. The welcome banquet was arranged under Song Bonian's name, in a suburban villa. It was a coming-of-age gift his parents bought for him, with a large yard. There is also a private cinema and swimming pool. His friends usually like to gather here. After the car drove into the yard and came to a stop, Song Bonian got out of the car first and walked around to the passenger side. He opened the car door for me, holding my hand. They carefully helped me out of the car. Treat it like some rare treasure. Wang Wen followed behind us. Take a deep breath. The vulnerability in his eyes was gone. Only determination remains. I wore a white spaghetti strap dress today. I applied a light, natural-looking makeup look. Her hair was loosely tied back. A few wisps of hair were left beside her cheeks. She looks gentle and innocent. She's the epitome of a beautiful and kind-hearted white moonlight, a term for a pure and innocent person. Only I know, beneath this gentle exterior, what kind of black heart is hidden there. Song Bonian took my hand and led me into the villa. Just as I reached the door, then I heard a commotion coming from inside. Another girl's laughter was particularly jarring. It's Zhao Nanan without a doubt. When I pushed open the door, there were already quite a few people sitting inside. They were all Song Bonian's childhood friends. There are also several project partners. I know most of them. Seeing us come in, all eyes were on us. It fell silent instantly. Yo Song Bonian, you've finally arrived. We've been waiting for you two for ages. Song Bonian's childhood friend remained silent, the first one to react. He smiled and winked at us. This is Zhou Ji, right? I've heard so much about you. We've heard Song Bonian talk about you for over a decade. I finally met him in person today. Others joined in the commotion. He greeted me with a smile. He kept calling him General Manager Zhou. Exceptionally enthusiastic attitude. They had heard of my name long ago. They also know about my investments abroad. Nobody dares to treat me as a fund project. Only dependent on Song Bonian's face. Apart from me and Wang Luan, everyone else in the audience. The only girl in the class was sitting in a group of boys, wearing a sports outfit, hair tied in a high ponytail, holding a bottle of beer. He was looking me up and down with a hostile expression. His eyes were full of hostility and disdain. Without a doubt, this is Zhao Nanan. She's not ugly, but compared to me, it's far inferior. She had heavy makeup on to create the illusion of a natural look. Contouring can be used as a shadow. The foundation is so thick you can scrape off a layer, but she insists on pretending to be without makeup. Carefree manner. Before I could even speak, he stood up first. He walked up to us with a nonchalant attitude. He reached out to pat Song Bonian's arm. His breath had a really bad, thick northeastern accent. You've finally arrived after a century. Who is this? Why don't you hurry up and introduce him to the brothers? He acted like the master of the house. It was as if he was the star of this welcome banquet, and I am an uninvited outsider. Song Bonian's face instantly turned cold. His brows furrowed tightly. She dodged his hand by sidestepping, protecting both me and Wang Wen behind him. My girlfriend's tone was icy. My best friend Wang Wen. Who do you think you are? You think you're worthy of my introduction? One sentence made Zhao Nanan's face turn half white. Everyone present was stunned. Clearly, they didn't expect Song Bonian to say that directly. Everyone stared wide-eyed. Look at Song Bonian. Look at me again. His eyes were filled with shock. I patted Song Bonian's arm reassuringly. He walked out from behind him, facing Zhao Nan. She revealed a classic, gentle, white moonlight. Hello with a smile. I am Zhou Ji. Please be aware of this. It means, I hope you know that Song Bonian is my boyfriend. Stay away from him in the future. Zhao Nanan's face turned pale instantly. He interrupted me immediately. She said with a disdainful look, don't call me a sister, you thought. I can't get along with you delicate girls. I consider them all brothers. As he spoke, he pointed to several boys behind him. He put on that act that makes me different from girls again. But please don't think I'm being blunt. I'm a manly guy. Say what you think. I won't beat around the bush like you girls. Don't take it to heart. After he finished speaking, she even put her hand on the shoulder of a boy next to her. It shook as if to confirm its own words. The boy immediately smiled and agreed. That's right, that's right. Nan usually gets along very well with us. That's just his personality. Straightforward. We never treated him like a girl. They're just brothers. Zhao Nan immediately reached out and punched the boy. The boy turned around and grabbed both of his hands. The two of them started playfully fighting, oblivious to everyone else around them. Their actions were incredibly intimate. And that boy was none other than Wang Wen's ex-boyfriend, Lu Li. Wang Wen stood beside me, fingers clenched tightly, but her eyes didn't get red like before. He just stared at the two of them coldly, like watching two clowns. I opened my mouth with a smile. The sound was not loud, but it was enough for everyone present to hear. Lu Li, it's been a long time. I heard you broke up with Wang Wen. It was because of this good brother. Lu Li's face visibly darkened. Seeing my unfriendly tone, I said, please inform everyone. I know you have a good relationship with Wang Wen, but he was the one who initiated the breakup. It has nothing to do with me. You can't blame me. That's even funnier than a Spring Festival gala skit. I raised an eyebrow and looked at him. His tone carried a hint of doubt. Why would you think I would blame you? Did you do something wrong? Wang Wen just broke up with you. My gaze. He was being observed subtly. Limbs intertwined with Zhao Nan. The meaning couldn't be clearer. No one present was a fool. I understood instantly. They all showed expressions of understanding. The way they looked at the two of them also changed. My words. They directly exposed their shameful secrets in public. Lu Li instantly became furious, shouting at me to let everyone know. What nonsense are you spouting? Nan and I are just buddies. Wang Wen is just prone to overthinking. I see something wrong with everyone. Nan and I sat upright, completely innocent. Don't spread rumors here. Zhao Nan immediately echoed this sentiment. He looked at me with a wronged expression. Why don't you girls believe it? Pure friendship can exist between men and women. Why must you look at it with such a filthy gaze? Do you think about the brotherhood between us? But I'm too lazy to argue with you. I'm not like you petty girls. I don't have that many twists and turns. They won't be suspicious all the time. Staring at other people's boyfriends. I listened to what he said. I almost burst out laughing. Good heavens, the thief is crying, stop thief. Let him understand. He kept talking about pure friendship, but his eyes kept glancing at Song Bonian. She kept saying she wouldn't keep an eye on other people's boyfriends, but she went to great lengths to try and attach herself to Song Bonian. They even stole project materials as a pledge of loyalty. That's shameless. It can be used as a city wall. I crossed my arms and looked at him. Smiling, she said, okay. Are you guys good brothers? However, I've always been good at judging people. Zhao Nan, are you a raccoon? Zhao Nan looked puzzled. He clearly didn't understand what I said. What raccoon? What do you mean? I said with a smile, raccoon. Word for word. The sound was clearly transmitted to the ears of everyone present. Literally, it means fantasizing about being male. Otherwise, why do you always talk about women? It's like I'm not a woman. In short, this made everyone present burst into laughter. Zhao Nanan's face instantly turned green with anger. His eyes were red. He turned his head and looked at Song Bonian. He pouted as if he had suffered a great injustice, a voice trembling with sobs for 100 years. Look at your girlfriend, how could she be like this? I didn't do anything, did I? Why is she so hostile towards me? You should say something. A cup of fine tea was thus presented to Song Bonian. It's a pity that Song Bonian didn't like drinking tea. He only loves the mind control potions I give him. He didn't even glance at Zhao Nan. She just gave him a cold glance. The tone was so cold it could freeze you to death. If you feel that Zhou Ji has malicious intentions towards you, why not reflect on it first? Did I do something wrong? This is my home. It was a welcome party I threw for my girlfriend. If you can't stay, you can leave now. Nobody is forcing you to stay here. Ruthless words. It slapped Zhao Nan hard across the face. Her face flushed red and then turned pale. This back molar simply couldn't utter a single word. He probably never thought of it. The man he tried so hard to please. How could they be so disrespectful to him, protecting me like this? Looking at his embarrassed expression, I felt incredibly happy. The atmosphere was getting increasingly awkward. Silence quickly stepped in to smooth things over. Oh dear. Quiet. It's not easy to get together. Come on, let's play a game. Do you want to play truth or dare? Others quickly echoed this sentiment, changing the subject. Afraid of starting another argument, Chen Mo quickly brought out a deck of cards, placed on the table. Explain the rules to everyone. The rules of the game are very simple. Each person draws a card. The person who drew the ace of spades. You can designate the holder of any suit of cards. The punishment for playing truth or dare. If the person being punished does not want to accept the punishment, you can drink a glass of baijiu to avoid it. Can you afford to play however you want? Truth or dare. It can be said to be a must-play game at parties. The game that's easiest to cause trouble. Zhao Nannan clearly wanted to use this game. Let's do something. Win a game. He immediately perked up. He glanced at me. I loudly proclaimed that I was familiar with this game. I often hang out with my brothers. They're all buddies. Everyone can afford to play, but everyone knows you can do it, right? Don't be unable to afford to play along. You also need to make Bai Nian drink for you. That would be no fun. He paused. Then, in a sarcastic tone, he added, oh dear. I've forgotten. As you know, you came back from abroad. Foreign girls are all open-minded. Maybe you can drink more than any of us brothers. You can play them all. The meaning behind those words couldn't be clearer. It's ostensibly saying I'm open-minded. Secretly, they were criticizing me for being too cunning. Immoral private life. Of course I can't spoil them. He looked at him with a half smile. Of course I can't compare to Jenny the raccoon. I could never kiss someone else's boyfriend for 30 seconds. Can they still pretend it's just pure friendship? After all, I still have a sense of shame. Zhao Nannan's expression. They froze instantly. Along with Luli, who was sitting next to him. His eyes began to flicker. It seems neither of them has forgotten this matter. Wang Wen told me. Once, at a gathering of friends, they played truth or dare. Zhao Nannan lost. Great adventure. It means kissing any member of the opposite sex present. He chose Luli without hesitation after 30 seconds. He grabbed Luli's face and kissed her. After kissing, they said they were all brothers. It's just a game. I hope my sister-in-law won't be angry. Because of this, Wang Wen and Luli had a big argument. It was from that time onwards. Wang Wen then considered breaking up. I ignored Zhao Nannan, whose face was ashen. He urged the others to quickly deal the cards and start the game. Silently holding the cards, I handed out the prearranged code to each of them. Accurately play the key cards. It was sent to me and Zhao Nannan. The first few games, I deliberately concealed my brilliance. Everyone played very restrainedly. The proposed punishments were all rather mild. It's just about having a drink, singing a song to lower Zhao Nannan's guard. Until the fifth game, the ace of spades fell into Zhao Nannan's hands. The moment I got the ace of spades, Zhao Nannan's expression visibly brightened with excitement. A calculating glint flashed in his eyes, staring intently at me, as if afraid I would run away. I looked at him like this. He chuckled to himself, pretending to be casual. He turned the cards in his hand to a different angle. Let him see clearly. The card in my hand is the six of spades. Sure enough, the next second, Zhao Nannan pointed at me triumphantly. I loudly proclaimed, I choose the six of spades. Accept punishment. I pretended to look helpless. Lay the cards out on the table. Okay, I'm the six of spades. I choose truth. Zhao Nannan smiled smugly, looking into my eyes. It's like they've got something on me. He asked Zhou Xi, word by word. I asked you, what was it like that you spent 8 years abroad? She has had several boyfriends. Did they break up a long time ago? He kept him hanging. Goodness, they're so direct right from the start. You want to ruin my reputation in public, huh? I'm dying of laughter after 8 years abroad. Besides Song Bonian, I've never even held a boy's hand more than a few times. All my time was spent on my studies and projects. He wanted to use this to attack me. They've completely gone in the wrong direction. I looked at him and smiled, saying, Zhao Nannan, you're so concerned about other people's private lives. Looks very experienced. I'm really sorry to disappoint you. I spent 8 years abroad. Focus on your career. Song Bonian was the only man by her side. But you've been stringing around 4 or 5 guys at a time. It also broke up 4 couples. You're the ultimate time management master. Zhao Nannan clearly didn't believe it. He frowned and stared intently at my face. Everyone knows this is the truth or dare segment. There's no need for you to lie. Who would believe that? Before I could even speak, they fell silent. I couldn't hold back any longer. He rolled his eyes and said to Zhao Nannan, are you kidding me? Zhou Jie's projects abroad. Who in our circle doesn't know her? Every year, besides President Song flying over to see her, he rarely even participates in social gatherings. Don't mess up your private life. Do you think everyone else should be like you? Others echoed this sentiment. That's right, Zhou Zhika is a well-known workaholic. We all flew abroad with Song Bonian to see him. He's either in meetings or working on projects. Where is there time for dating? Zhao Nannan's face instantly turned as white as paper. I had to bite the bullet and find some cloth for myself. Then you must be faking it. Who knows what you're like behind the scenes? I burst out laughing and looked at him. How could I compare to you? You're no makeup today. That's what you call mastery. The contouring is so heavy it's almost down to my chin. The foundation is so thick it could be used as a mask. Only straight men wouldn't notice. I really thought you were wearing no makeup. Zhao Nannan's face instantly turned red. Loudly rebuttal. What nonsense are you talking about? I didn't wear any makeup at all. I never wear makeup when I go out with my buddies. Zhou Xi knows what you're doing. I looked at his furious expression. Smiling, I picked up the makeup remover wipes from the table. Hand it to her. Really? Then dare you use this to wipe your face? Let everyone see if you're wearing makeup or not. Zhao Nannan looked at the makeup remover wipes in my hand. Panic instantly. He took a step back. He covered his face tightly with his hands. You're crazy, why should I listen to you? Why wouldn't you dare? I raised an eyebrow. His tone was full of mockery. Didn't you say you weren't wearing makeup? What's wrong with wiping it? Or are you saying your manly personality is all an act? Can't even take this kind of joke? Everyone present looked at it as a joke. staring at Zhao Nanan's face. His eyes were full of mockery and sarcasm. Those boys who were just agreeing with her. Looking at his flustered appearance now, his eyes were also full of suspicion. Zhao Nanan was forced into a dilemma. I stood there, tears welling up in my eyes, but he couldn't refute a single word. In the end, he could only grit his teeth and bear it. He forced himself to pick up the bottle of liquor on the table and drank it all in one gulp. This can be considered an admission of punishment. A glass of strong liquor. His face instantly turned bright red, but also using this as an excuse. Avoiding the embarrassment of removing makeup, he glared at me fiercely. He sat back down in his seat, looking at his embarrassed expression. I sneered inwardly. Don't rush, this is just the beginning. I haven't finished giving him the gift I prepared yet. The game continues. I was the one who drew the ace of spades this time. I swept the ace of spades in my hand around. Those present laughed and said that the person who drew the three of spades accept punishment. As I expected, the lucky player who drew the three of spades is Zhao Nannan. Zhao Nannan looked at the spade in my hand. Sigh. I looked at my hands again. The three of spades in the room turned pale. Hesitated for a long time. I hesitated before I spoke. I choose truth. It seems he thinks truth or dare is safer. Unfortunately, here in my case, no matter what he chooses, it's all a dead end. I looked at him. I asked my question with a smile. Please tell me about the whole process. They relied on their good brother persona. How many couples has it broken up? And how much benefit did they get from these boys? One sentence silenced the entire room instantly. All eyes were on Zhao Nannan. Zhao Nannan's face instantly turned bright red. He suddenly stood up and shouted at me, Zhou Ji, don't make false accusations. When did I break up someone else's couple? Produce the evidence. I raised an eyebrow. This is the truth or dare segment. You don't answer. Either drink, or even if you can't afford to play. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. You'll never get rich if you lie. I always forget to bring toilet paper when I go to the toilet. There's never a seasoning packet when you eat instant noodles. Always getting cheated on in relationships. As soon as I said that, the boys present couldn't help but laugh. They all joined in the commotion and answered. Nan, don't be a sore loser. Zhao Nan was forced into a corner. Her face turned red and then white. In the end, he could only pick up the liquor again and drink another glass. This can be considered an admission of punishment. 2 glasses of strong liquor down, his eyes started to wander. I didn't give him a chance to breathe. In every game that followed, I always draw the ace of spades with perfect accuracy, and accurately targeted Zhao Nan. Let him be punished. You asked me, knowing full well that Luli had a girlfriend. She even flirted with him. He instigated him to transfer Wang Wen's assets. Do you consider yourself a third party in a relationship? Question. What do you mean by posting on the forum? Say Song Bonian is your good brother. You are very familiar with him. How many sentences did you exchange in total? Ask me a question. Secretly photocopying confidential project documents from Song Bonian's company. Trying to sell to competitors. Is the rival story true? I asked one question after another. It hit Zhao Nanan's face like a cannonball. His face flushed. A flash of white, a flash of green. Like a color palette. Absolutely amazing. He dared not answer any of the questions. He could only drink by Jill one glass after another. He quickly became so drunk he could barely stand. Luli couldn't sit still any longer. He slammed his hand on the table and stood up. Shout at me to let everyone know. Don't go too far. Forgive others when you can. Nan didn't do anything wrong. Why are you targeting him like this? They're still protecting her. Then you two might as well just lock yourselves in. I threw the key into the sea. Nobody can get out. I looked at Luli. A cold laugh. I targeted him. Luli, have you forgotten how Wang Wen broke up with you? Have you forgotten how your 7-year relationship ended? If it weren't for him, you're engaged to Wang Wen now. You don't blame him. Instead, they blame me. I don't think you're stupid. She's been bewitched. After I finished speaking, Wang Wen slowly opened his mouth. The voice was cold and fluent. We've been together for 7 years. I prepared your birthday gift 3 months in advance. Your business failed. I'll use all my savings to help you out. Your mother is sick. I stayed at the hospital for 3 days and 3 nights. But what about you, for a woman you've known for a year? I was repeatedly accused of being petty. You made me suffer time and time again. I'm putting this out there today. I'll see you in court. The money you transferred, I will take it all back, not a single penny less. After Wang Wen finished speaking, he threw a stack of detailed evidence in front of Luli. Luli looked at the evidence. His face turned pale instantly. He couldn't say a word. Just then, Zhao Nanan's phone started ringing incessantly. He answered the phone in a daze. I didn't hear more than 2 sentences. His face turned deathly pale instantly. The phone fell directly to the ground. My assistant. He promptly released all his dirt on the entire internet simultaneously. It contains information about how he broke up 4 couples, the couple's complete timeline of chat logs and solid evidence photos. He forged poverty certificates at school to fraudulently obtain student grants, disciplinary record for cheating on exams and maliciously spreading rumors about classmates. He was simultaneously dating 7 or 8 boys, ambiguous chat screenshots, and his sarcastic posts on the forum, recordings of someone stealing project data and attempting to sell it to a competitor. The evidence is irrefutable. There was no room for argument. People in the circle saw the post instantly. The entire audience erupted in uproar. The way everyone looked at Zhao Nan, the initial amusement turned into disdain and disgust. Those boys who were just agreeing with her. At this moment, they all retreated. I'm afraid of getting involved with her. Get into trouble. Zhao Nannan was bombarded with questions and online revelations. I'm on the verge of a breakdown. He slammed his hand on the table and shouted, I'm not choosing truth anymore. I want to choose the great adventure. He probably felt that telling the truth was too easy for me to manipulate. I want to switch tracks. Unfortunately, God always closes one door at the same time. Open a window for him. And all I did was repeatedly check his doors, windows, and chimney. Did I even clog the sewers? I saw him smile. A grand adventure, right? No problem, your great adventure. It means choosing any member of the opposite sex present. Play your intimate chat history with him in public. The duration should be no less than 1 minute. As soon as I said that, the entire room fell silent instantly. All eyes were on Zhao Nannan. Let's wait and see his reaction. Zhao Nannan heard the details of this dare. He was stunned for a moment. His face immediately lit up with ecstatic joy. As if afraid I would change my mind. He quickly nodded and agreed, no problem. I accept my choice of Song Banian. He finished speaking and looked at me smugly. It seemed as if Song Banian was already his for the taking. It was as if he had one against me. Looking at his smug expression, I just found it ridiculous. He probably felt, as long as he can produce the chat logs with Song Banian, you can declare your sovereignty in front of me. That could create a rift between me and Song Banian. They can take advantage of the situation. Unfortunately, he didn't understand Song Banian at all. Song Banian had severe misophobia. Besides me, let alone flirting with girls. Even if a girl messages him, he would only have his assistant reply. Not to mention someone like Zhao Nannan, the girl he despised from the bottom of his heart. What intimate chat history is there? I smiled faintly, looking at Zhao Nannan. You can choose either one, but you need to be able to produce the chat history, right? If you can't get it out, but the penalty is 3 glasses of baijiu, Chinese liquor. Before I could finish speaking, Song Banian spoke decisively. Cold tone. There was absolutely no room for negotiation. I haven't even exchanged a single WeChat message with him, let alone chat history. Zhao Nannan's smile froze instantly. His face turned pale, looking at Song Banian in disbelief. It's impossible that I've sent you so many messages. You replied to me. Song Banian took out his phone expressionlessly. I opened WeChat. The screen was projected onto the large screen in the living room. You mean my assistant replied using my account? Received, thank you. Or the dozens of harassing messages you sent. I didn't reply to any of them. On the big screen, Zhao Nannan's WeChat profile picture is clearly displayed. The chat box was full of messages he sent unilaterally. From Brother Centennial. You're so handsome that I know you're afraid of the dark. I can accompany you. Dozens of densely packed. Song Banian's reply consisted of only a few sentences. All of these were polite replies from the assistant. Not a single private exchange. The entire audience burst into laughter. Zhao Nannan's face instantly turned as red as a boiled shrimp. I wish I could find a crack in the ground to crawl into. He couldn't keep an eye on Song Banian, this flawless egg. Then they turned their attention to me. Shout at me to let everyone know. No matter how good your relationship with Song Banian is, we can't control everything about him, can we? He is an independent person. Have your own ideas. If you don't like him, please stop stringing him along. Don't delay him. You can't tie him down as his girlfriend. Restrict his freedom. He also has the right to interact with other girls. You can't be so domineering. He wanted to use these words, trying to sow discord between me and Song Banian. I want Song Banian to think I'm meddling too much. They think I'm too domineering. This caused dissatisfaction with me. But he didn't know. I'm going to tie him up. I just want to keep him in check. I'm not that magnanimous. Sharing my boyfriend with others. I looked at him and gave him an innocent smile. He said it word by word. But I not only want to tie him down as his girlfriend, and also as his future wife. He'll be tied down for life. One sentence exploded like a bomb in the crowd. The entire room fell silent for a second. Then a deafening scream erupted. Cheers and jeers. Song Banian's brothers. They screamed like crazed wild monkeys, slamming the table, whistling. It's incredibly lively. Damn Song Banian. You're amazing. Hidden well enough. Awesome, bro. I've been chasing this for over a decade. I finally won the heart of my beauty. Congratulations. I knew it. What could make Song Banian so concerned? Who else but Sister Zhou? Lock it up, lock it up. Zhao Nannan stood still. I was completely dumbfounded, mouth slightly open. Looking at me and Song Banian, they couldn't say a word. He froze completely. It was as if I had been struck by lightning. And Song Banian next to me. He looked at me with shining eyes, ear roots bright red. His mouth stretched from ear to ear. He held my hand tightly. I was so excited my whole body was shaking. He had been waiting for those words for over a decade. I haven't forgotten today's main task. Turning his head to look at Zhao Nannan, who had a blank expression, feigning innocence, she suggested, why don't you choose someone else? After all, my boyfriend. I don't really like being touched by other girls. I don't really like chatting with other girls. At this time, if Song Banian gave Zhao Nannan even a glance, he will never give up. But Song Banian was like an impenetrable wall. His gaze was fixed on me the whole time. Zhao Nannan was not given the slightest opportunity to take advantage. He wasn't even given a glance. Without Song Banian as the optimal option, Zhao Nannan had no choice but to settle for second best. Their gaze turned to Luli. He looked at Luli. The tone carried a hint of pleading. Li Ge, you haven't finished speaking yet. Luli refused without saying a word. Turn your head away. Don't look for me if you don't want to see him. I'm not playing with Luli, who was just protecting him. At this moment, their attitude changes faster than turning the pages of a book. After all, the negative information has already been exposed online. He finally saw Zhao Nanan's true colors. In addition, Song Bonian froze his project funds. His mother already knows about this. I'm on the phone yelling at him. He himself is in dire straits. How could they dare to protect Zhao Nanan? Zhao Nanan looked at Luli like this, completely panicked. He didn't care about saving face anymore. He cried and begged Luli to help him, but Luli ignored it completely. He grabbed his coat from the sofa and hurriedly went outside. He even shook off Zhao Nanan's attempts to pull him away. He left without looking back. Watching Luli's retreating figure, Zhao Nanan panicked completely. Standing there helplessly, his eyes were filled with panic and fear. Finally realized, something had completely slipped out of his control. He strolled leisurely to Song Bonian's side. Want to get close to Song Bonian? Oh, it's already this late. Still not giving up. There's more to the story. Noticing Zhao Nanan's approach, Song Bonian suddenly took a big step toward me. He held me tightly in his arms like, it's like Zhao Nanan has some kind of virus on her. Avoid it. His eyes were full of disgust. Zhao Nanan bit her lip hard, clutching the hem of her clothes with both hands. The knuckles have turned white. He hesitated for a long time before speaking. The voice trembled slightly. Song Bonian, I know you were 8 years old. Locked in the underground parking garage for 3 hours. That accident left you with a deep psychological scar. From then on, you became extremely afraid of the dark. I really feel sorry for you. Song Bonian's expression changed slightly. Zhao Nanan saw this. Strike while the iron is hot. He continued. I don't know the people from back then. What cruel things did you do? But I know. That will definitely be a nightmare you can never forget for the rest of your life. I often think, if we could have met earlier, will I be able to stay by your side? Will you be able to escape that accident? You don't have to suffer so much. But until a few days ago, I only found out then. The person who committed such a heinous act back then, it turns out to be the one you trust the most. Zhou Ji, whom I cherish most. How could he bear to treat you like this? He's a devil in disguise. He has been mentally controlling you. I can't just stand by and watch you be deceived by him again. He kept me in the dark again. So even if I face his retaliation, he will target. I also want to tell you about this. I want to expose his true colors. Zhao Nanan said. Tears streamed down my cheeks. Tears streaming down her face. It was as if the person locked in the garage was him. The person who was wronged was just like him. Unfortunately, Song Bonian remained silent throughout. He didn't get the response he wanted. If it were his brothers, they all stared at me in astonishment. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Is what Sister Zhou said true? He spoke cautiously in silence. Obviously, they couldn't believe it. I never expected Zhao Nanan could do something like this. It was dug up and then completely altered. I have no intention of hiding anything. Looking at them, he nodded calmly. He smiled and said he was right. When I was 8 years old, I locked Song Bonian in the underground parking garage. My admission made Zhao Nanan instantly overjoyed. He suddenly rushed over. He grabbed one of Song Bonian's sleeves. He excitedly shouted, Song Bonian, you heard me. He admitted it. He's a hypocrite, selfish and vicious woman. He's been lying to you all along. You should break up with him immediately. This kind of woman is not good enough for you. Even Song Bonian's friends. They all looked at me, seemingly wanting to say something but holding back. What happened today? This is truly a revelation to their understanding. Just when Zhao Nanan was convinced that Song Bonian will break up with me, when I would stand on his side, Song Bonian abruptly shook off his hand. The force was so great that he was thrown to the ground. Song Bonian looked at Zhao Nanan who had fallen to the ground. His eyes were filled with cold hostility and disgust. I said, word by word, don't touch me. I find it disgusting. I know better than anyone what happened back then. My parents were arguing. I hid in the garage and cried. It was Gigi who found me. He sat with me in the dark for 3 hours. I'm afraid my family will find me and cause me further distress. The door was locked. I'm afraid of the dark because I've lived alone since I was little. Gigi climbs over the courtyard wall every night to keep me company. I'm no longer afraid of the dark. He is the only light in my life. Who gave you the right to criticize? I have only ever loved Shoji in my life. Even if he sold me out, I was also willing to count the money for him. Who do you think you are? He's not even qualified to comment on him. One sentence left Zhao Nanan dumbfounded. He lay on the ground, staring at Song Bonian in disbelief. You knew it was impossible all along. He caused you so much harm. How could you just let him go like that? Are you crazy, Song? Bonian finally gave him a little. He was being looked at like he was an idiot. His tone was full of impatience. It's like explaining to someone with an intellectual disability. You don't understand that this isn't harm. This is the tacit understanding between us. I'm willing to be controlled by him for the rest of my life. Sweet as honey. Zhao Nanan lay on the ground. He froze completely. Dull eyes. He couldn't say a word. It was like being struck by lightning. My worldview was shattered. He probably won't understand it in his entire life. How could there be someone like Song Bonian? How could anyone willingly be treated like this? It was sweet. Song Bonian didn't look at him again. Turn around. He carefully took my hand and looked at me. His eyes were full of pleading and grievance. Squeak, did I do well? Can you give me a formal title? I looked at him like this. I couldn't help but laugh. She tiptoed and kissed him on the lips. So I can give you a title. Starting today, you, Song Bonian, are my well-known boyfriend. My only boyfriend. Future husband. Song Bonian's eyes lit up instantly. He picked me up. It spun around several times. He lowered his head and kissed me fiercely. It's like they want to meld me into their very bones. Friends around. A deafening cheer erupted. And cheers. The entire villa was filled with a joyful atmosphere. Only Zhao Nan was lying on the ground watching us. His eyes were filled with despair and resentment. In the end, they could only slink away and get up. Head down. Amidst the mocking and disdainful gazes of everyone, he ran out of the villa in a disheveled state, disappeared into the night. The welcome banquet has now come to a successful conclusion. Zhao Nan slunk away. Luli also ran away. The rest of the people surrounded me and Song Bonian, teasing us. Let's drink. Let's tell the story of all these years. I joined in their antics for a while, so he made up an excuse to pull Uncle Song along. The bedroom on the second floor. Tonight, my attention was focused on Zhao Nan, ignoring my Song Bonian. He'd been unhappy for a long time. She's been looking at me with that pitiful expression since just now, like a big dog that has been neglected by its owner. Entering the bedroom, Song Bonian then hugged me from behind. His head was buried in the crook of my neck. It squeaked softly. You've been watching Zhao Nan all night. They didn't even look at me. I turned around and hugged him. He patted his back, laughing and coaxing him. Okay, don't feel wronged. I'm keeping you company, aren't I? Zhao Nan is an insignificant person. I dealt with him. Isn't it also to help you get rid of unwanted romantic advances? Song Bonian looked down at me. His eyes were full of grievance. So you're going to make our relationship public today? I've waited for over 10 years. Haven't I already given you a formal status? I smiled and pinched his cheek. Song Bonian, how old are you? Still acting like a child, getting jealous and possessive. I ignored him and hugged him even tighter. You are mine. It can only be mine. This life and the next life. Next life. They can only be mine. The warm light in the bedroom fell on the top of Song Bonian's head. He tightened his grip on my arms. I'm afraid I'll end up like I was 8 years ago. Fly away without looking back. I reached out and ruffled her hair. My fingertips traced the base of her reddened ear. I just smiled and coaxed her. I've already given you the title. She even lowered her head and buried her face in the crook of my neck, feeling wronged. The sound wasn't muffled enough. What I wanted was never just the title of boyfriend. I want you to be bound to me for the rest of your life. Never to be apart again. My heart melted completely. When I was 8 years old, in the underground parking garage, he was clearly trembling with fear of the dark, but he still gave me the only strawberry candy. He said he would protect me. When I was 10 years old, I climbed over the courtyard wall to accompany him. I was so sleepy I could barely keep my eyes open, but he still held my hand, afraid I'd leave. I went abroad at 18. With red eyes, he said, wait for me to come back. They waited for 8 years. He would travel halfway around the world to see me without fail. Never uttered a single complaint. I've schemed and plotted my whole life. He was the only one she had long since fallen for. Once upon a time, I always felt I should stand shoulder to shoulder with him. Only then can we preserve this relationship. But it wasn't until today that I understood. This man from beginning to end. My heart and eyes are filled with only me. He never loved any perfect female CEO. It's just that I'm aware of it. I stood on tiptoe. I kissed the corner of his lips. Look intently into his eyes. Song Bonian, I'm not leaving. This life and the next life. Next life. I'm only ever tied to you. His eyes lit up instantly. He lowered his head and kissed me fiercely. It's as if I want to express all the longing and love I've held for over a decade. I poured everything into this kiss. Moonlight streamed in through the window. Our shadows stretched long as we embraced. I finally admit it. This willing, the man I've had under my thumb for over a decade. It has long become an indispensable part of my life. Early the next morning, Song Bonian stayed with me and Wang Wen went to the law firm. The lawyer had already prepared all the litigation materials. Everything is organized. The evidence is irrefutable. Not only could it allow Luli to transfer the assets, spit out every single penny, this could make him guilty of misappropriating project funds. Pay the price. That afternoon, Wang Wen then presented all the evidence to Luli. Luli looked at the irrefutable evidence, face as white as paper. From the very beginning, they made excuses and denied things. From kneeling and begging for mercy later, Wang Wen didn't even lift his eyelids. He coldly told him to see him in court. On the other side, undeterred Zhao Nan. Sure enough, he began his death throes. After leaving the welcome banquet in a disheveled state, he not only did not restrain himself, instead, it became even more serious, spreading rumors wildly on various social media platforms. They say I'm psychologically twisted, controlling vomiting through mental means. Song Bonian for more than 10 years. He even portrayed himself as someone who exposes the truth. A pitiful person who was suppressed by a vicious white moonlight. It's a pity that his methods are so underhanded. In my eyes, it's as ridiculous as children playing house. My assistant had anticipated this move. His fabricated post was published less than 10 minutes ago. Evidence of him stealing trade secrets. It was submitted to the police and his university. His university soon issued an announcement. Due to serious violations of school rules and regulations, and suspected of commercial crimes, he was directly advised to withdraw from the program. The police have also accepted the case. An investigation was launched against him. People in the circle saw his true colors even more clearly. Those boys who used to treat him like a brother. Everyone avoided him. I'm afraid of getting entangled with him and getting into trouble. He wants to find a job, but all companies can see his negative information and criminal records. They all turned him away directly. He wanted to re-enter high society, but they couldn't even get through the door of any party. In just 3 days, Zhao Nannan, from a scheming woman who thought she could rise to the top in one step, they became a rat that everyone wanted to beat. Ultimately, he was charged with the crime of infringing trade secrets, criminally detained in accordance with the law. Lu Li's fate was even worse than his. Lu Li's mother. I was already furious because of his breakup with Wang Wen. I know again, he not only betrayed Wang Wen for Zhao Nannan, they also secretly misappropriated project funds, transferring family assets out to squander. Direct thunderous fury. All his bank cards and credit cards were frozen. He was completely kicked out of the family business. He even went so far as to say who would dare offer him a job. It means going against the Lu family. Lu Li was originally a good-for-nothing playboy. Without the support of family, it is nothing. He had nowhere to turn. Go back to Wang Wen and beg him to get back together. But Wang Wen, accompanied by security guards, blocked the company's entrance. Wang Wen looked at his disheveled appearance. He only coldly said, "My 7 years of youth. Once fed to the dog, it will never be retrieved." Later, the court ruled. Lu Li not only has to return all of Wang Wen's property, he will also be charged with embezzlement. Bear corresponding criminal responsibility. All the rotten people and rotten things were cleaned up completely. Life finally returned to normal. I stayed in the country. Overseas projects. We have completed the integration with our domestic branch offices. They also reached a strategic cooperation agreement with Song Bonian's company. Strong alliance. They became the envy of everyone in their circle, a truly perfect couple. Song Bonian no longer needs to hide it. He wants to hold my hand wherever we go. He brags to everyone that I'm his girlfriend, the person he had loved for over a decade. His parents had long considered me their daughter-in-law. The two families sat down together for a meal. We finalized our marriage plans with smiles on our faces. Even the wedding date has been set. 6 months later, in the military compound where we grew up together, Song Bonian proposed to me. That night, he was on the lawn in the courtyard. It was filled with my favorite white roses. Kneeling on one knee, holding a diamond ring, she looked at me with red eyes. Like when I was 18 at the airport, his eyes were filled with an obsessive yet burning love. My diary when I was 8 years old. In the underground parking garage, when I ate the strawberry candy you gave me. I just wanted to be with you for the rest of my life. You can bully me, whatever. It's good to manipulate me, whatever. As long as the person next to you is me. I've waited for you for over a decade. Can you give me a chance now? Let me take care of you for the rest of my life. Will you marry me? I looked at him and smiled. Tears fell down. I reached out my hand. He put the diamond ring on my ring finger. I bent down and hugged him. I whispered in his ear that I was willing. Song Bonian, in this lifetime, you're the only one I'll ever have my way with. He hugged me tightly. He lowered his head and kissed me under the starry sky. I once thought, my proudest achievement in life. He had Song Bonian completely under his control. But only now do I understand. It's not that I've got him under my thumb. Rather, he willingly let me control him for a lifetime. There will never be another person like him in this world. Like Song Bonian. Love me to the bone. Sweet as honey. The starlight fell all over me on the night of the proposal. My fingertips traced the diamond ring on my ring finger. Seeing Song Bonian holding me in his arms with red eyes. The way he wouldn't let go. Suddenly I understood. I've schemed and plotted my whole life. The most successful investment. It's never just about projects that have multiplied dozens of times. But it was when he was 8 years old. In the underground parking garage, they caught the little boy whose eyes were red from crying. The elders in the compound know that we have set a wedding date. They all laughed and joked. They say we've gone around in circles. They finally came together. Among the children who grew up in the compound, the most worry-free couple. Only I know. Song Bonian had been waiting for this day. I've endured it for over a decade. The days after the proposal, sweet as if soaked in a honey pot. Song Bonian wished he could have the best things in the world. They were all presented to me. From wedding venue setup, custom wedding dress design, from a small decorative item in the home, the glass of warm water I drank this morning, doing everything personally. He refused to delegate the task to anyone else. His childhood friends tease him in the group chat every day. Speaking of the ruthless and decisive person in the business world in the past, President Song, who wouldn't even lift his eyelids twice. Now I've become a complete henpecked husband. They even put my photo on the table during meetings. The first thing he did after the meeting was to send me a message. Report itinerary. Every time I tease him with the chat history in the group, he would hug me from behind. Her chin rested on the top of my head, feeling heavy. What do they know? The official status I finally received after more than a decade. Of course, you should hold on tight. I laughed, turned around, and pinched his cheek. Looking at the way his ears turned red. My heart is so soft. I used to think I should stand shoulder to shoulder with him. Only then can we preserve this relationship. But now I understand. This man wanted it from beginning to end. Never a business partner who is his equal. Just someone who can accompany him year after year. Of course, I didn't either. Forgot to pursue your own career. After returning to China, I have 3 cross-border investment projects overseas. All connections with domestic branches have been completed. Patents for core new energy technologies. It has also completed its domestic registration. A deep strategic partnership was reached with Songbonian's company. One of us holds the core technology. A company with a mature industrial chain and market channels. A powerful alliance. However, in just 2 months, just as it gained a foothold in the domestic new energy market, it even directly reshaped the industry landscape. It has left several established companies behind. People in the circle. No one will ever again call me a silk spinning flower from the Song dynasty. Everyone respectfully calls me President Zhou. Everyone knows about the woman beside Songbonian, not just the white moonlight he cherished in his heart. More importantly, a partner who can rival him. Wang Wen's life gradually got back on track. With my support, he took the property he had recovered. I started my own investment company. He was a top student who graduated from a top international business school. He turned down an investment banking offer back then in order to conserve his energy. His talents were buried for 7 years. Now I finally have a place to put my talents to use. He devoted almost all his energy to his work. From the company's site selection and decoration, to the project's progress negotiation, do everything personally. I looked at him. From the beginning, when I was tormented by emotional intelligence, the little girl who cried every night, he gradually returned to his former high spirits. The light in her eyes. I'm happier than anyone else. The day Luli's divorce case went to court, Wang Wen was wearing a smart black suit, sitting in the plaintiff's seat with a lawyer, calm and composed throughout. All the evidence was presented in a clear and organized manner. Luli sat in the defendant's seat, pale face. He no longer had that self-righteous attitude. After the court hearing, she blocked the entrance to the courthouse, kneeling in front of Wang Wen, crying and begging to get back together. Say you know you were wrong. Please give Wang Wen another chance. Wang Wen simply stared at her coldly. He didn't even lift his eyelids. Luli only said one sentence. My 7 years of youth. Once you feed the dog, it won't come back to pick up trash. After saying that, she turned around and got into the car, without the slightest regret. After the car drove a long way, she then turned her head to look at me. Eyes reddened, but she laughed and said, squeak squeak. I finally let go. I patted her hand. Say congratulations with a smile. Rebirth. But none of us expected it. Luli, who had been driven to the brink of despair, was still unwilling to give up. They even brought in new helpers. They dug a huge hole for us. The beginnings of things. It started with a project bidding meeting. That day, Songbonian and I were together. Attend the city's new energy project bidding meeting. Our preparations were flawless. Whether it's the technical solution or the implementation plan, they are all perfect. Everyone felt that this project was perfect for us. The final winning bid. However, it was a little-known new company, Zhoxing Technology. What I found even more strange was this company's technical solutions. It's actually the same as what we did back then. The fake information that was deliberately leaked to Zhao Nannan. There is a 70% similarity. Only some minor adjustments were made. Songbonian and I exchanged a glance. They both saw the understanding in each other's eyes. Sure enough, after returning home, the assistant quickly provided Zhoxing Technology's background information. It was sent over. The actual controlling shareholder of this company is Lin Zhou. It was Songbonian in the business world. Old rivals who have been fighting for several years. The company I own has always been involved in the new energy business. However, he was always overshadowed by Songbonian. They've been pulling a lot of dirty tricks behind the scenes over the years. Zhao Nannan stole the information back then. He's the buyer I'm looking for. What surprised us even more was, Luli actually became Zhou. Lin Zhou, project vice president of Xing Technology. He was given some shares. He was brought under his command. I looked at Luli's name on the document. I couldn't help but laugh. I really didn't expect that. It's gotten to this point. He was still thinking about turning the tide. How dare they seek refuge in Lin Zhou? Turn around and bite us. Songbonian noticed that my expression was off. He reached out and pulled me into his arms. His brows were furrowed tightly. His tone was full of hostility. This Lin Zhou, I've wanted to teach him a lesson for a long time. He had repeatedly sabotaged my projects before. I didn't even argue with him. They actually dared to team up with Luli to cause trouble. They even set their sights on our project. I think he's tired of living. I leaned against his chest, fingers tapping lightly on the table. Laughing, I said, what's the rush? Since he dared to come to our door, let's just play with him. Zhao Nannan's debt. I haven't finished calculating with him yet. He actually delivered himself to our doorstep. I had expected this. Lin Zhou obtained that set of fake documents. I will definitely cherish it. Eager to put into production this set of materials, we deliberately buried several fatal technical vulnerabilities. On the surface, it seems flawless. After actual production, not only will serious product quality problems occur, it will also infringe on our core patents that we have already registered. Lin Zhou thought he had gotten a great deal. They won the bidding project by using stolen information. In fact, he already has one foot. He stepped into the trap we had dug for him. We never expected this. Lin Zhou's methods are far more despicable than we imagined. He knew he couldn't beat us head-on in the business world. They actually resorted to underhanded tactics. They set their sights on my private affairs with Songbonian. They want to bring us down through public opinion. That morning, I just woke up. I was overwhelmed by the flood of messages on my phone. Overnight, on major social media platforms and local forums. It's all about my dirty secrets. The post says, It has a nose and eyes. They said I'm not an independent, strong woman at all. The 8 years I spent abroad were not spent building a career. Instead, she was kept by multiple wealthy men. All the capital in his hands was obtained through illegitimate means. He said I agreed to be with Song Bonian back then, but they refused to make their relationship public. It's to leave myself a way out, treating Song Bonian as a backup plan. He's been hanging on for over a decade. There are even people. They forged intimate photos of me and a strange man. Chat history. He spoke with such conviction. Even more vicious is, they brought up the incident from when they were 8 years old in the underground parking garage, taking things out of context. Malicious tampering. They say I've been psychologically twisted since childhood, locking young Song Bonian in a dark garage. It caused him severe psychological trauma. More than 10 years later, he had been using this incident to mentally control Song Bonian. They had him completely under their control. It was all for the purpose of marrying into the Song family, coveting the Song family's wealth. The end of the post. They even portrayed me as a scheming person, a vicious woman with an extremely strong desire for control. I've been deceiving Song Bonian for over a decade. It's so pitiful. Some people even started stirring up trouble. Tell Song Bonian to break up with me immediately. Stay away from me, you poisonous woman. Public opinion fermented extremely quickly. However, a few hours, the related topic quickly became a trending topic. Countless netizens, unaware of the facts, followed suit and stirred up trouble. The insults I receive are as harsh as they can be. Even our company's stock price was affected. A slight decline occurred. Wang Luan called me immediately. The sound of his breath was trembling and crackling. It must have been Linzhou and Luli who did it. These two bastards are incompetent, resorting to such despicable tactics. Don't be angry. I've already had my PR team handle it. I'm coming to find you right now. Hang up the phone. I looked at those disgusting posts on my phone. Not only was she not angry, on the contrary, I find it laughable. Linzhou and Luli, they were probably truly at their wits' end. Only then would someone resort to such a low-level tactic. They thought they could rely on these rumors and smears. They could sow discord between me and Song Bonian. That could ruin my reputation. They can bring us down. That's absolutely out of the ordinary. I just put down my phone. Song Bonian then hugged me tightly from behind. His chin rested on the top of my head. The arms are tightly tucked in. My heart is filled with guilt and heartache. Squeak, I'm sorry. It was my fault for not handling it well. I'm sorry you had to suffer. Don't believe those ridiculous things. I'll handle it right away. They must pay the price. I turned around, looking at the anger and heartache in his eyes. She smiled and pinched his cheek. I'm fine. I don't take these little storms seriously. But they portrayed you as the fool I'm mind controlling. You're not angry. Song Bonian lowered his head, forehead pressed against mine. His eyes were so serious it was unbelievable. I'm angry that they maliciously slandered you. I'm angry that they're making a fuss about what happened between us. As for what they said, I don't care at all. I'm willing to be manipulated by you, to be managed by you for life. Sweet as honey. Is it any of his business? He finished speaking and turned to pick up his phone. He made several phone calls right in front of me. He first mobilized the entire group's public relations team, collect evidence from all the accounts that posted the rumors. A lawyer's letter was sent, to get to the bottom of it, then have the legal team prepare the materials. The company in Linzhou and Luli were sued. Sue them for malicious defamation and infringement of their right to reputation. Finally, he called the platform directly. In less than 10 minutes, all related trending searches and posts, all have been removed. All the accounts that led the spread of rumors were also banned. After doing all this, he still wasn't satisfied. He directly opened his Weibo account, posted a Weibo post. His account is officially verified. There are millions of fans. Normally only the company's funds are distributed. Project updates. He wouldn't even utter a single word about his private life. But that day, he sent me a photo from when we proposed. I'm smiling as I look at him in the photo. He knelt on one knee. His eyes were filled with undisguised love. The caption was only a few short sentences. My fiancé Zhou Ji. The person I've loved for over a decade is the apple of my eye. All the rumors circulating online are false. We have retained a lawyer to handle all matters. Furthermore, I'm willing to be controlled by him for the rest of my life. Sweet as honey. Miscellaneous people. Mind your own business. Once this Weibo post was published, it exploded instantly. In less than half an hour, the number of reposts exceeded 100,000. The comments section was filled with shock and blessings. Wow, President Song is so manly. What an amazing love story. Willing to be manipulated for a lifetime. Sweet as honey. I'm totally obsessed with this line. Don't those who spread rumors feel ashamed? The person in question personally stepped in to protect his wife. They even talked about mind control. It's absolutely hilarious. More than a decade of childhood sweethearts going their separate ways. What kind of novel has come to life? This Weibo post by the deceased Song Bonian. Tear all the rumors to shreds. Everyone in the industry knows. Song Bonian never spoke empty words. He can say such things in public. That is enough to prove. How deep are his feelings for me? Those who say I mind control him. The rumors that he coveted his family fortune have been disproven. But that's not enough. Me and Song Bonian. I'm never someone who just passively takes a beating. Linzhou and Luli dare to set their sights on us. Dare to maliciously smear me. We must be prepared to be attacked by us. I asked my assistant to bring the materials that had been prepared beforehand. They were all released. First, there's the negative information about Linzhou company. We had already discovered that his company was trying to seize market share. Not only did they commit financial fraud and inflate revenue, but they also cut corners during the product manufacturing process. There are serious safety hazards. Even in order to get the project, he repeatedly bribed relevant personnel. Complete chain of evidence. The evidence is irrefutable. Once these materials were exposed, this immediately caused a huge uproar. Relevant departments immediately launched an investigation. The company's stock price in Linzhou plummeted overnight. The capital chain broke directly. The bidding projects that had been secured were also abruptly halted. Not only will they have to pay huge sums of liquidated damages, they will face legal sanctions. Immediately afterwards, we also released evidence that Linzhou instructed Luli to fabricate evidence. Solid evidence of malicious rumors and defamation, including their chat logs and transfer receipts. There are also contracts for hiring online trolls to post content, all made public. Luli's fate was even worse than Linzhou's. He was already guilty of embezzling funds. Lawsuits involving the transfer of assets. Disgrace. Now, due to involvement in malicious defamation, we filed an additional lawsuit. In addition, during his tenure at Zhouxing Technology, participated in Linzhou Company's commercial bribery, illegal activities such as financial fraud, multiple crimes punished concurrently. All that awaited him was imprisonment. The Liu family completely abandoned him. No one was willing to help him anymore. He went from being a glamorous rich second generation overnight. They became a rat that everyone wanted to beat. Desperate. There is not even a place to stay. As for Linzhou, his company, ultimately due to serious violations of laws and regulations, business license revoked. He himself, also due to multiple charges including bribery and financial fraud, under investigation by the police. More than a decade of hard work, vanished overnight. This turmoil from beginning to end. In just 3 days, Linzhou and Luli went to great lengths to bring us down. In the end, however, he shot himself in the foot. He ended up disgraced and imprisoned. Song Bonian and I were completely unaffected. On the contrary, because of this matter, this allowed more people to see the feelings between us. Our company's reputation also suffered because of this incident. Zhang received more cooperation projects, go to a higher level. After the storm subsided, life returned to normal. Song Bonian devoted all his energy. They were all used for our wedding. No matter how big or small, do it yourself. Afraid of the slightest imperfection, I watched him revise the wedding plan every day. Even the flavors of wedding candies have to be chosen from dozens of varieties. I couldn't help but laugh and say, President Song, you're talking about a project worth tens of billions now. We must be serious. He reached out and pulled me into his arms. He lowered his head and kissed my forehead. He said with a smile that the project was worth tens of billions. Earning more money is not as important as marrying you. This is a poem I've been preparing for over a decade. Of course, to achieve perfection, the wedding is scheduled for autumn, in the military compound where we grew up together. On the wedding day, the sky was clear and the air was fresh. On the lawn of the courtyard, it was filled with my favorite white roses. Those who came were all elders who had watched us grow up, and friends I've known since childhood. Wang Wen stood beside me, wearing a beautiful bridesmaid dress, laughing and saying squeak. Congratulations. I finally married the person who has loved me for over a decade. I looked at myself in the mirror, wearing a wedding dress. Her eyes welled up with tears as she smiled. When I was 18, I dragged my suitcase into the airport, leaving the country without looking back. I thought only by standing at the highest point, only then can we preserve this relationship. But I didn't expect that person standing outside the airport floor-to-ceiling windows. The boy watched me leave with red eyes. They've never let go of my hand. He stood there waiting for me for 8 whole years. They've been with me for over 10 years. He has grown from a naive boy into a mature man. Always keep me in your heart. Never changed. When the wedding march plays, I held my father's hand. He walked step by step towards Song Bonian at the end of the red carpet. He stood there in a sharp black suit, with red eyes, staring intently in my direction. Like when I was 18, like an airport, his eyes were filled with an obsessive and burning love. Walk up to him. He reached out and took my hand. Fingertips trembled slightly. The voice was choked with sobs. Zizi, you finally married me. I looked at him with a smile. Speaking softly about Song Bonian, I said this in this lifetime. I'm only going to manipulate you. When exchanging rings, he lowered his head and whispered in my ear, squeak squeak. When I was 8 years old, in the underground parking garage, you stayed with me for 3 hours. I will spend my whole life paying it back. For the rest of my life, the wind and snow are you. Plainness is you. Glory is also you. I will always be yours. Belongs only to you. Petals fell from the sky. He lowered his head and kissed me. The surrounding area was filled with cheers and blessings from relatives and friends. I once thought, my proudest achievement in life, they had Song Bonian completely under their control. But it wasn't until this moment that I understood. It was never me who controlled him. Rather, it was his own choice. She opened up all her vulnerabilities. I've had my way with it my whole life. This world of 10,000 families. The lights and stars are dazzling. I went around in circles. She eventually returned to his side. From now on, year after year, we will walk through spring, summer, autumn, and winter together. Let's witness the joys and sorrows of life together. We'll never be apart again. This love spanned more than a decade. In the years to come, year after year, it's getting hotter and hotter. Never fade.